Friends and radio listeners are constantly telling me how much they love these products for bath, hair, laundry, and dishes. There is nothing like these factory direct, big money saving triple concentrated soaps anywhere. Get a free detailed catalog by calling 800-340-7091 or see them online at 5starsoap.com or Infowars.com. Let's talk to the owner of 5 Star Soap, Marty Schachter, and see what he has to say.
As founder and owner for over 63 years, people keep asking me, how's business? I'm happy to say our business is going down the drain. Call us at 1-800-340-7091. Visit our website, 5starsoap.com, for buying our 1 to 2 month soap sampler. Thank you.
You may be arrested and or subject to other police action.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on Earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cannons, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
All right, I want everyone to focus on what we're about to cover right now. In fact, we're going to search this and put it on screen for you. Radioactive isotopes covered up in Texas water. Remember 2 weeks ago it came out in the Houston Chronicle, CBS News, that they were finding uranium in most Texas water supplies that isn't even in the groundwater, and that the feds had been covering it up with the state. Now, I pointed out that uranium is in the phosphate deposits where they're mining the sodium fluoride. Now, Jesse Ventura, an American conspiracies author, researcher, with his TV show, Conspiracy Theory, went out and talked to the experts. I'm in tonight's episode, but they talked to radiation experts, you name it. Fertility in males is dropping worldwide, especially in the West. This episode is off the charts. It is super hardcore. And we have got to get not just the sodium fluoride out, because they brainwash people that's good for them, even though top scientists and the EPA admit it's not. Now they're going to try to say uranium's good for you. Now, right where I live, there's uranium in the water. And the hippies will get mad if you cut a tree down to build a shed, but they're like, give me uranium. I want it. I mean, this is eugenics. This is population reduction, and it's going to air tomorrow night. And it just makes me so angry, folks, that this is going on. Michael Braverman, executive producer. He's produced many national television programs. And, of course, he also helped produce Jesse Ventura's TV show on MSNBC. And he's produced a television program from CBS Primetime Television. I'm not going to go through it all, but he's produced shows for A&E. But Michael Braverman joins us now to give you a sneak peek into what they discovered. This all started out just to look into foreign corporations stealing water and gobbling it up to jack up prices, IMF World Bank documents. They came to interview me in Austin, and that's the turning point in the show, and they went and looked up the stuff I told them about, and actually, then the whole show turned out to be different. And, folks, it's Bombshell, and it's hidden in plain view, and it's going to air for the first time tomorrow night on TV, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. Michael Braverman, great to have you here with us.
Hey, Alex, thanks for having me on again.
You bet, my friend. Look, you've dropped such... I mean, seriously, folks, I thought I was freaked out by the FEMA camp special. Now I am really freaked out because I know everything you just told me is confirmed and what's in the show, But just to know they've been doing it and getting away with it, they're putting uranium in on purpose. That's only one part of the show. Michael, tell us as much as you can about the premiere tomorrow night.
Well, you know, Alex, it's one of those things that's pretty similar to what we talked about 2 weeks ago. You know, I come to this with sort of an open mind. I'm kind of an agnostic about a lot of this stuff because, you know, I sort of got into this, as you know, as a TV producer, and we started looking into this issue about water. Somebody said, y'all ought to look into this because there's a lot of foreign companies sucking out water from places like the Great Lakes. And I was like, well, okay, let's look into that. So I put the staff on it, and I started to look into it. And what we discovered is it's not only true, it's massive. And I'll start with one example. And by the way, anybody who's listening to this can just get on the computer and Google it, and you'll see that it's, as you say, right out there in plain sight. There's a place called Stanwood, Michigan. And I'm going to get you the uranium in a second, but I want to give you the backstory, and I want to give your listeners the background of this. It's a place called Stanwood, Michigan. It's way up in the north. It's pretty rural. Actually, it's in the central part of the state. It's pretty rural. It's pretty depressed in terms of the economy. So Nestle Waters of America, which is a subsidiary of a giant multinational corporation called Nestle, which we've all heard of, builds this big plant in Stanwood, Michigan. And they ain't making Nesquik. What they're doing is they're bottling water, which they're sucking up from Lake Michigan, and bottling it and selling it under the brand Ice Mountain, which you've probably all seen in the store. Okay. The state of Michigan leased them all of this water and leased them the land for the plant for, guess how much? I'll tell you, $100 a year under ex-Governor Engel's administration. $100 a year. So what Nestle did, being the smart corporation they are, is they didn't put their pumps on the shoreline of Lake Michigan, where everyone could see them and they'd be an eyesore and they'd attract a lot of attention. No. What they did is they put their massive pumps 12 miles inland on a private game preserve, where no one can see them, no one can hear them. And when you all watch the show tomorrow night, you'll see that we try to get in there. Jesse tries to get in there, and you can't get in it. And these huge pumps are sucking up thousands, millions, and millions of gallons of our water, America's water, good water, a year. And they're piping them to this big plant in Stanwood, Michigan, and the tankers go out every few minutes. Every few minutes, those tankers are going out filled with bottles of water. The Nestle Corporation pays $100 a year to exploit.
Well, that's the way it always is. It's like the new Federal Reserve bailout, where MSNBC and everybody else gets secret federal money from taxpayers, and then we're not allowed to be told. I mean, that's why it's like Obama giving waivers to hundreds of mega businesses to not have to buy government-run insurance, but then the local hamburger place, they don't get the exemption. Nobody can compete against somebody like Nestle paying $100 a year for millions of gallons of water.
No, you can't. And
I mean, I pay hundreds a month for water.
Sure. And their story is, well, we provide employment in an area that needed employment. All true. Yeah, I can't dispute that they do. A lot of people, a lot of locals got jobs. There's jobs for truckers, there's jobs for everybody.
But it shows how insiders play by a different set of rules.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. And this episode, which airs tomorrow night, and I'm going to pitch it here to everybody, 10 o'clock on True TV, this episode will blow your mind as it blew mine, because as it develops, you see this thing unravel, and we unravel this conspiracy about water layer by layer by layer. And what you're going to hear is, as we start with this plant in Stanwood, Michigan, where all this stuff is being, all this water is being taken, and then what you discover is there are three big multinationals all over the world, and what they're doing is they're privatizing water. They go into municipalities, they go into states, they go, hey, you guys are government, you guys are idiots, you don't know what you're doing, which is a pretty good argument to make. What we're going to do is we're going to take over your water supply, we're going to take over your municipal water system, and we're going to run it better, and we're going to pay you a royalty. And a bunch of cities and states go, cool, let's go. And then what you discover is, just like insiders all over the world, as you pointed out, Alex, suddenly the rules change. The price gets jacked up. The water quality isn't as good. All kinds of stuff starts to happen. And you can't, a lot of these deals, these smaller towns, they can't get out of them, because Nestle and a couple other French companies, Veolia and Suez, are the biggest ones. None of them, by the way, are American companies.
Yeah, there's German, there's Dutch, there's...
the biggest three are French and Swiss. There's, Britain has Thames Water. And if you look in all over the world, in third world countries, like developing world countries, these companies go out there and they buy up huge amounts of water, and you can't kick them out. Now, here's what you got to realize. As we pull back the layers, in this show, what you're going to find out is the big oil families, the big oil players, suddenly are getting into water. Water, we've all seen this headline, water is the new oil. And one of the primary families doing this are our friends, the Bushes. The Bushes have bought 98,000 acres. I want everyone to just picture that for a minute. 98,000 acres in South America. It's in an area actually that borders different countries. It's near Paraguay, and where Paraguay hits Brazil. Right there on the southern border of Brazil, the northern border of Paraguay. Why did they buy 98,000 acres? I'll tell you. Because it sits over the world's largest aquifer. Excuse me, the largest aquifer in the Western Hemisphere. Sorry, there's a larger one in Russia.
And the biggest in the U.S. is under Texas, and that's where Boone Pickens has moved in.
T. Boone, smart man that he is, figured something out. And by the way, we have this on the show. You see him on the show looking into the camera going, well, water's free, but not for long. I mean, it's right there. And again, everything I'm saying, anybody can get on Google, point and click, and you can see what I'm talking about.
And then they lobby all over the U.S. and Europe to ban you having your own well or collecting rainwater, just like their Food Safety Act shuts down you growing food at your own farm because they're creating artificial scarcity.
Yes, I didn't realize there are laws to... You mean I can't sink my own well in a lot of places?
Yes, and they're the ones lobbying for it.
Oh, sure. They want to control... If you wanted to control a population, let's say you were a particular group of elites and you wanted to control a population, well, there's two ways that are the most efficient way to do it. You control the water and you control the food. That's pretty much the best way you can do it. You cannot live more than 2 weeks without water. You can't. Usually you will die within 3 or 4 days. If the human body is 15% dehydrated or has a 15% water deficiency, to use a really accurate term, a 15% water deficiency will kill you within 24 hours.
Yes.
I mean, kill dead. So if you want to control a population, that's a pretty good way to do it. And T. Boone figured out that in Texas, if you own the land, you also own the water rights. So what T. Boone did, again, being the billionaire that he is he bought up a whole bunch of land, and on his ranch, he created a town. And the town gets to have its own water district. And guess who the citizens of the town are? T. Boone's employees. So what does he do? He sinks a lot of pumps in there, starts to suck out it's called the Ogallala Aquifer, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of. Am I talking too fast?
No, you're right on target.
Okay, because I'm so lit up about this that it just makes me crazy that this stuff is happening.
In fact, I mean, talking to the crew, you guys have really been wound up about water, and you should be, because in your investigation, it's not just they're creating an oligopoly, not just creating artificial scarcity, not just running these scams, not just trying to keep us from getting our own water, but they're adding stuff to the water. Michael Braverman, stay there. Let's continue. This is riveting. This affects everybody. Our bodies are 75% water. Water is life. And this just shows how dastardly these robber barons are, these new water barons. We'll be right back. Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.tv.
Calling all manufacturers from across the United States. Are you eager to have people buy your products right here at home instead of having them buy competing products made on the other side of the world? Do you want to build your business while helping boost our nation's economy at the same time? Then localmakers.com is the website for you. Our site provides an easy way for manufacturers to connect with customers